The City of Hudson Planning Board will come to order. Linda, please start it off.
Ms. Contract here. Mr. Spear.
Yeah.
Woodhull.
Here.
Mr. Michael.
Here.
Ms. Black. Here. Mr. Vogel.
Here.
Mr. Shevsky is excused.
So Jean is recovering from oral surgery. He called today, let me know that he wouldn't be here tonight. But we do have a quorum, so we are underway. We have some regular meeting business that we need to deal with first. Linda, do we have invoices to approve?
From Writing Engineering. 3 invoices totaling $927.30.
Excuse me, Mike. Is that the end of our invoice?
And I had 7 from Becky Ryan Henry for $3,757.50.
Based on your observation, those invoices seem reasonable. So we need a motion to approve the invoices as presented by Linda. Motion to approve. Who was that? Okay, second.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call.
Yes. Spear.
Yes.
Woodhull.
Yes.
Michael.
Yes.
Black. Yes. Vogel.
Yes. It's time to approve the minutes from July 14th and July 21st as distributed. First, are there any edits or corrections to the minutes that we were sent? Hearing none, a motion to approve would be in order. Who seconded? Nathan?
It's Conrad. Yes. Spear.
Yes.
Woodhull.
Yes.
Michael.
Yes.
Black. Yes. Vogel.
Yes. Moving back for one moment on approving the bills. President Morris, Common Council President, has been reviewing and approving our bills. And she has requested that we begin formally reviewing our invoices through Linda and me. And so I like that because it gives us an opportunity to have a little better hands-on where our expenses are. And our primary expenses are on my left and right. The rest of us, as you all may not know, do this at no compensation whatsoever, except the reward of being able to serve our community. So I did want to announce that to the board that we'll be instituting that practice immediately. Do we have any updates, Peter, or anything on our liaison relationships? Okay, thank you. We're going to convene our public hearing now. The next item on the agenda is the public hearing regarding 41 North 2nd Street. And I now declare this public hearing open at 6:06 p.m. Do we have people here tonight that are expecting to speak? Great. So have all of you signed the sign-up sheet? It's being circulated. Be sure that you do. Linda will call your name, and we invite you to come stand in between the balusters there. And Haley, our colleague on the board, is going to be our timekeeper. Each citizen is allowed 3 minutes. And really, that's not the limit as much as it is to provide sort of equity so that everybody gets the same amount of time at the podium. The public hearing is an essential part of our process. On a major project like this, it takes months to work through all of the details, maybe years sometimes. And we conclude with public comments to help us identify any issues that we may have missed or not fully understood. Public brings lived experiences, shared information. Your perspectives are essential to our understanding of the project. The public comments is also an important part of how we build civic infrastructure, not just bricks and mortar, but how do we learn to communicate with each other? How do we share opposing points of view? in a civil and respectful way. And so we are excited you're here tonight and pleased that you want to participate in this essential part of our civic life. So some of the guidelines are 3 minutes each. We ask you to provide your name, address, or ward or town. Let us know where you live. We ask that you address the planning board and not the applicant or other members of the audience. We ask that you stay on the agenda. Tonight we're talking about the Bliss Power replacement. So, we don't want to talk about the waterfront or anything else. This is not a question and answer session, which may not be intuitive. This is really for the board to listen. So it's not a debate. We don't ask questions. We just listen and take to heart what you're bringing into this conversation. If you have documents that you bring with you that you want to share with the board, just present those to Linda and we will post them on our portal. So the planning board doesn't deal with everything. I mean, we don't deal with how much a project costs or whether or not we think it's a good idea or, our focus and our remit is pretty narrow. We look at the culture, not the culture, but the quality of the neighborhood, traffic, safety, environmental issues, and other matters that you believe are important to us. We certainly want you to share, but those are the issues that are at the heart of our deliberation. So we will, whether you speak tonight or you submit written comments, all comments are treated equally and will be posted. And what you'll hear if you stay a little bit later in our meeting tonight is how we're processing public comments. We're not just asking you to speak and then your comments vanish into the air. We are studying the comments. We're creating documents for the applicant to respond to some of the themes and some of the issues that you've said. So your comments do become a vital part of the community discussion. So thanks for being here. Thanks for participating. And unless we have other comments from the board, then we're ready to begin. So, Linda, do you have the science?
Mary Becker.
Did I mention that you were doing Carmen? Oh, good.
Hi, my name is Mary Decker, and I'm the Vice Chairman of the Hudson Housing Authority Board. I have lived there for 47 years, and I really think that you guys should take into consideration of how bad the building that we live in right now. There's many of us in this room have lived or grew up near the high rise, and I really think that you guys should take into consideration of how us residents feel. The floors are really bad. The walls are really bad. And I really think that you need to think about us for once. I mean, I get everybody's house pay mortgage. I get it. We pay rent. I mean, my rent's almost $1,000. And where am I gonna go out there in the city paying what I'm paying at? Nowhere. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Jay Shell, Ventura.
Okay, my name is Jason from Ventura. I am a young person living in Hudson. I came to Hudson in around 2020, and I have been living here since then. In the program that I have been in, High Science Community, it has shown me a lot of just how the community is, and I definitely have seen that the residents in Bliss Towers have a good community and they have so much memories with each other. But with the the issues in the building, there's some people move out and just they don't continue having memories. I feel like if we have a new building, it will be a restart for everyone to have and just have a break. I'm not always thinking, oh, when is this building gonna collapse on me? Or when is all the mold gonna yeah. But all the stuff that happens around in the building leads to like less community events where I know that kids had like birthday parties and just, yeah, they had like birthday parties, just a whole lot of memories that can't really like get built up because of the fact that everyone's like just like moving out because they can't live in those conditions anymore. Many generations will continue staying in Hudson if like the building gets like rebuilt and another building gets added. Yeah.
Thank you for your comments there, Sal.
M. Emily.
Emily, hi, how are you? My name's Emily, we're part of Friends of Second Street. So I support affordable housing in Hudson. We need it, we need more housing, definitely. And I support Bliss Towers coming down, because it has to go, right? As asbestos, it has all of that stuff in it. But I oppose this particular plan because, among other things, right? So it's gonna be built on a brownfield. You guys know what a brownfield is? So it has contaminants, pollutants, hazardous substances, all sorts of, because Hudson used to be we had a lot of industry here, right? So you're being asked, I don't understand why this site has to be on a brownfield. And do you want to raise and rear your kids on a brownfield, right? Even if it's remediated, right? Why would you have your kids be living on a brownfield when you have many other sites here in Hudson? Secondly, there's a piece about the Hudson Housing Authority, right? So it managed the Bliss Towers and Columbia Apartments. If they were not able to manage and repair and take care of these units, what makes anyone think that they're going to be able to take care of a complex that is twice as big, but sitting on a brownfield? I mean, the residents should know about how everything is going to get prepared. Is the brownfield going to be cleared up properly? And is the Hudson Authority how's it going to budget to pay for the various repairs? And none of that is in the public record. Thirdly, right, phase one of the plan is indeed for Bliss residents. But do you guys know that phase two is opened up to the entire country, right? So it may not be, very few of us in Hudson here may actually get to be part of that second phase two development, and that is not clear from the record at all. So a couple of other things, right? Most of the units may go to first comers, but not Hudson.
Sorry to interrupt, 30 seconds.
Okay, great. So, and then the whole brownfield piece, though, I think is the most important one. Why do you want to raise your kids on an environmentally polluted site? Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, Emily.
C. Bravo.
Hi, my name is Karen Bramlett, and I live on State Street, just a few blocks away, Bliss Towers, and Mr. Alge said very much in favor of having affordable, livable, safe, healthy environment for all our residents, particularly low income, needing affordable housing. Bliss Towers must come down in a safe way that will not affect the health and well-being, particularly of the local neighbors, but especially of the current residents, all in favor of getting better housing. However, the plan that is before us is not conducive to the well-being of all of us at all. No, as he had just said, nobody has looked into the toxicity of where the proposed tower will be. Nobody has done a real plan about how many people will be living here, who will be living here, who will be coming in, and who will have an opportunity to live here. We did an original plan in 2018 to disperse nice communities, I mean, all around us to still have community housing, but in a non-toxic site. And no one has done surveys about the population, about infrastructure, about parking, anything. We don't know how long this will take, how far the pylons have to go down, how many hundreds of feet, the construction process, the dust, the asbestos. Nothing has been stated to any of us. I think we all of us need to know and should know. So where's the transparency about what's going to go forward? How is this going to be done? Where is the safety issues? What is the environmental impact? How are you going to remediate that? And I don't even care about, it's not even about the cost. It's about the safety and the well-being and the health of all of us. And so I am with him on this, that to build on a site that's considered a brown site, a toxic site, is just unbelievable and unconscionable. Not in favor of this proposed plan at all, but we definitely need better housing. Bliss must know.
Thank you for your comments. Let me pause for a second. We've got a crowd gathering in the outer office out there. Can you all hear okay? I don't know that there's any more room. There are a few seats maybe up in the main room that are open. And while I'm interrupting the comments, if anyone has come in since we began and wants to make public comments, you need to sign up with Linda's sign-in sheet. So are there any other guests that want to make public comments tonight that haven't signed up? All right, very good.
Sign up.
Okay, we're ready to resume.
Jonathan Meyer.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Meyer. I live on Second Ward. One of my biggest concerns is the lack of transparency as far as the time frame of all this goes. Everyone keeps talking about, construction for phase one will be 12 months for building, and it could be 24 months. I think the big concern is, okay, you have a brownfield that's going to have to be mediated. So how long is that going to take? No one has ever said that. Nothing can be done until that is done. And once that is done, then you have to make this bad soil. You're going to put pilings or whatever that may be. How long is that going to take? And once that is done, and God knows what the cost is of both of those phases, once that is done, then they can actually start, I assume, building the project. So what is the actual building time on that? Then once they finish building it, all the current tenants are able to move into phase one. Then I assume that at that point, then they tear down Bliss Tower. Another huge concern I have, and this whole thing is what's the time frame, because we all live in this community. We're all going to be dealing with noise and dust and construction and trucks barreling downstate in Columbia with maybe asbestos flying around and everything else. So then they tear down Bliss, then they start on phase two. So what is the time frame for all of this construction to happen to our community, and how it's going to affect everyone, especially the people that live right near it? And also, I think it's really frightening that you're having all these people move into phase one before Bliss is torn down. And then Bliss is torn down. They are 50 feet across the street from the demolition of a 9-story asbestos-filled building. Is kind of frightening health-wise to these people. So I would love a little transparency from the developers, the architects, and speaking of the architects, why is there no real plan that we can see what the final product is going to look like? I was looking at Alexander Gorland's site just today. There are 5 different versions on his site alone of what this could look like. So when are we, as a community, going to see what this thing is going to look like? And that's all I have to say.
Thank you, John. Thank you for your comments.
Bill Hughes.
Hi, thank you. What I would like to say, a lot of what I was going to say, I think was eloquently addressed by the mayor in the newspaper article, so I won't repeat that. What I will address is the history of Hudson, and now all the talk that we hear about the brownfield, because I served quite a few years on the brownfield remediation committee in the city of Hudson. I'm a lifelong resident of Hudson, born here in 1965, and at that time, we had a ton of housing downtown in Hudson that was plowed under by HUD, doing that remediation in the 70s. So when I hear talk about people saying this is a large project and this will grow our population, at that time, we had 12 to 13,000 people in this city or more. And a good portion of them were living down there, downtown, including my client, we're living at 12 Warren Street. But when we talk about remediation, the process in doing that now, we are so far advanced in the technology of doing that. I served on the city council in 2003 and was part of the remediation of brownfield remediation committee. And at that time, we were going around here. So when you look at the mental health building, a brownfield project, right? When you start looking at up by the Little League field, a brownfield project. When you look down by Mill Street, a brownfield project. We have tons of brownfield projects in this city. And this, matter of fact, where Bliss Towers is sitting now was an old junkyard. So it's not like we're creating the new wheel here, right? We are using advanced new technology to build on an area, a footprint that is already under HUD control. All they're trying to do is take down a 9-story building and build 4-story buildings in its place. Now, what those buildings look like, yeah, I do think they should provide the plan so people can see it. But when we're looking at that downtown, I think people who live in Bliss Towers now and the people who had to leave Bliss Towers, who I thought should have got a voucher when they left, should be able to return back here and actually enjoy Hudson just like everybody else that lives here.
Stephanie, what so? Hi, good afternoon, it's Stephanie Monsa. I've lived in Hudson for 21 years, on Tanner's Lane, which was a brownfield and has been purchased by a billionaire to redevelop into a luxury hotel and, other, luxury developments. So we can live with brownfields, and I was born and raised in Brooklyn, so I'm fine. I don't have anything to say about the technical aspects of the plan because I'm not familiar with those things. But what I am familiar with as a neighbor in the city of Hudson is the Bliss Towers being the site of community, culture, loving families, stories, history, and as Mr. Hughes referenced, a long history of erasure, which began with that plowing under and seizing of personal property and the erasure of generational roots and wealth in Hudson for Black and brown families, which we have to stop. Hudson is bleeding out. And for folks who came here attracted by the culture of Hudson, this is part of the culture of Hudson. We live together, we're a community. So one of the beautiful things about the plan is the plentiness of green space and trees. And there's a beautiful campus called Kite's Nest at the lower end of State Street. There can be a beautiful corridor of trees and water remediation, because as our climate changes and as environmental threats change, and as all those trucks run up and down Columbia Street and pollute the air, we need a way to keep our asthma-prone children and elders breathing clean air. We need to address the collection of water that comes running down these hills. And we need to create green, dignified living space so people can have quality of life. The entire corridor of that part of State Street down along the Front Street to our beautiful waterfront park should be seen as the jewel of Hudson. Not the retail stores on Warren Street, but the place where the families live, where the culture grows, where the traditions are held, where the history is held. So I am strongly in favor of redeveloping Bliss Towers. I'm strongly in favor of my neighbors living mold-free, allergy-free, asthma-free.
All right, that's 30 seconds.
Thank you very much. I'm going to wrap it up right there. Thank you for.
Thank you. So if I could impose a little bit of restriction on the room, remind the speakers that they're addressing the board, and probably we'll take out the applause at this point. I did mention earlier on also there'll be no tomato throwing at the chins. That's one of the rules of the room. Linda, back to you.
Gabrielle, save him.
Oh, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Gabrielle Xavier. I have lived here in the Hudson area for all 21 years of my life. And throughout those 21 years of my life, I have got to experience the displacement of my own family from the city of Hudson area due to the lack of affordable housing that already does reside here in Hudson. Yes, but to follow up with that, I have also grown up in the school district where I was raised alongside kids who have grown up in this building. I have family who have grown up in this building, and the issues that West Towers has been facing, has been ongoing issues for years. Since my niece, she's now 14, she was living there ever since birth. So, yeah, seeing their living conditions, seeing the water leaks, the busted baseboards, the railings in the hallways rusted over, the uneven floors, down to, the malfunctioning elevator that happens so it happens more often than not. But, yes, I am strongly in favor of this redevelopment plan because I do believe that, working class individuals in our city, no matter what the class or status or rank, deserve safe, healthy, affordable, comfortable housing. And growing up here, that's just something that I've seen undermined time and time again from Native generations of people who have raised families here for years. And the neglect of our Hudson natives is something that is very depressing to see, especially when you grow up in community with these people and there's really nothing you can do as one individual to help their struggle, but, yes. To touch a little bit based on some of the opposing arguments to this plan, one of them, which already has kind of a little bit brought up, is the space of where the redevelopment plan would happen. And to answer some questions to that, the space that Bliss Towers is on right now is federally granted space for affordable housing units. And there is no other way.
Sorry, 30 seconds.
There is no other way to work around that. But, yes, and to the asbestos concerns, which are very, very, valid. There are safe ways to mitigate asbestos before having to start this redevelopment plan. So, yeah, but that's what I'm going to say.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Makes sense.
There's two kinds, so you might want to say laughing. You're up. But
So I wanted to hand deliver 20 handwritten letters that were collected from people of the public. I had one from Wednesday last week, and Shadiot Saga is here. 12-year-old youth leader and organizer in 30, oh my God. 13-year-old youth leader and organizer. Would you like to say something? Who should we give it to?
Juan or Linda. Linda.
Young people deserve this housing. The future of the city depends on this level of investment in affordable, healthy, densely built housing. We have failed generations of young people, and we have lost so many families, and anyone who is a youth worker, such as myself, who works in the schools, works with young people, knows that we are seeing families and generational networks of care be torn apart because they cannot stay in this. In the last 25 years, we've lost 2,000 members from our population. That is 24% of our population gone in the last 20 years. And I appreciate Bill Hughes saying that it's even double that or more since 1965. We have a population of 5,700 people. That's not enough people to even sustain the businesses and the schools and the economy of this town. There's no business that can stay open all the weekdays in town. We have created an unsustainable city that does not take care of its young people, its elders, its neighbors, its working families, or its working class people. That is a shame. And this board has the ability to right that historical wrong, and to right the historical wrong that was done when this building was built poorly at a time when asbestos was not fully understood, when poor materials were used. And what we have before us is a proposal for a well-built, thoughtfully designed plan that centers green space, play space, and shared community space. Densely built housing characterizes a city. It's what makes a city a city. If you do not like living in a city, there are plenty of other suburban towns and rural areas in the area that you can move to and still get to come here and go out to dinner. This is Hudson. There are people who are waiting to come home. And yes, there are people who might move here from other parts of the country. Imagine that. That would be great. We would welcome that. And I want to add that we are among the most impacted. My organization is a neighboring property to this property. We will deal with the construction traffic.
Sorry, 30
With
seconds.
the dust and the noise and impact because this benefits our city. And sometimes it is inconvenient to do something that matters. Sometimes we have to compromise or make a small sacrifice or feel a little bit uncomfortable or have to take a longer route to work or close our windows on the day that the demolition is happening. That is part of the city life. And remediation is absolutely possible. It happens all the time. HHA spot brownfield status intentionally so that they can clean this up the right way.
Thank you so much, Mike.
Lloyd Alden Kelly.
Thank you. Your voice of reason. Bright light. Recently savior of the tree of peace. And recent 5 years only in Hudson, but I have so much love and regard for the incredible creativity and the population here and the diversity. And there's so much love. I've recently come to, some of you may be familiar with my housing situation. So I've come up with my own creative solution, which is, my own personal, but there's been some detractors. And I've dealt with that. I'm just saying, I've learned about the wonderful and delightful nature of these people. So with that background, I am a supporter. I'm unequivocal supporter of this project. 2 years ago, when they were looking at the demolition grant, the $2 million that they did into the CBTV grant, I said at that time, does anyone think this building is coming down? It's not coming down, because it's coming down. Whether it's done proactively by some engineering firm or construction firm or management firm, or it crumbles. So this is a no-brainer. It's coming down now. It's actually being monitored by the state in terms of brownfield. They cannot move forward. I've been going to the meetings. I've watched the work the developers put into this. There's no schlock operation, Marco. So I said that correctly, but anyway, they really worked it, and they've been on the job, and we're lucky to have a developer that has demonstrated this much care and attention and basically love for the city. So the remediation will happen, the state will not give them money unless the remediation plans, so I do not see the remediation, wherever you go practically in Hudson, unless you go to a virgin forest, you're gonna have remediation of some form or sort. The question is, how effective is it? So I don't think that is something, now, in terms of not knowing what the project is gonna be or how it's gonna be, like, don't let the perfect get in the way of the good enough. And if it's just good enough to provide housing for these people and to get them out of
Excuse, 30 seconds.
in the situation that they're in, then just by all means, go ahead, let them have their housing and run. I didn't bring any tomatoes.
Thank you, Lloyd.
Eli, deluxe. I'm Eli, I live on State Street, Village of Bliss. I am definitely in support of this project. Just the other night, I was sitting out in front of Bliss with some of my neighbors getting eaten alive by mosquitoes. And listening to some of their stories from when they were young, growing up in the towers. And running the hallways in tag. Or sneaking out of their grandmother's apartment to go to the 3rd Street snack bar to meet up with their friends. And during my time in the military, that wasn't really very conducive to putting down roots. So anytime I hear these kinds of stories, it feels really precious, you know? Feels priceless. There's like a value and a long established tie between people and the community. And also the place that they live. And I think the people in Bliss right now have that. And when I hear words like dispersing to me just kind of is another word for breaking, right? Breaking up of the community. And I don't think that breaking apart this strong community is in any of our best interest, you know? I do think replacing a derelict building and encouraging growth feeds our community at large over and over. It's an overdue investment in ourselves. I just want to speak briefly on kind of the comment I heard earlier about who will be coming in, who will be coming in. Ooh, and that made me bristle, you know, nobody vetted me when I moved here, and I would venture to say that many of the people in the room here weren't vetted by anyone upon moving here either, you know, and the kind of implication that people moving into this new housing would need any different, seemed like a racist dog whistle to me. That's all.
Thank you. Eli. Ellen.
Peyton. I'm gonna stay over here in the corner because I'm moving around each side. And I am gonna start with reading my letter that I wrote to the planning board, because I'm sure everybody has had a chance to look at it. My name is Kaya Payton. I am a lifelong resident of Hudson, 51 years old as of a couple Tuesdays ago. Dear members of the Hudson Planning Board, before Bliss Towers became the subject of redevelopment plans, public hearings, and architectural renderings, it was simply home. My connection to Bliss Towers began before I was even born. My mother, along our first resident of Bliss, while 5 months pregnant with me, moved into Bliss. We were the first family in 814. I was born into that community, raised there, built lifelong friendships there, and later received my first apartment there as a young adult. Even after leaving Hudson for a period of time, I returned to Bliss once again before beginning the next chapter of my life. My relationship with Bliss Towers spans nearly every stage of my life. The relationship eventually came full circle in 2017. I became the first person of color to work in administration at Hudson Housing Authority. It was a milestone I carried with great pride and responsibility. More importantly, it gave the opportunity to serve the very community that helped shape me. Residents were not simply walking into an office. They were greeted by someone who understood their neighborhood, the history, and the importance of having a safe and stable place to call home. Today, I have the privilege of serving our community as the founder and director of 411 Advocacy and Resourcing, an organization committed to helping individuals and families navigate housing challenges, information advocacy, and resource connection. It is through each of these experiences, as a child, a resident, a housing professional, and now a housing advocate, that I write in this unwavering support of the proposed redevelopment of Bliss Towers. After more than 50 years, replacing Bliss Towers is no longer a preference. It is a necessity. Over the years, I have witnessed the building's gradual deterioration firsthand. I have seen the increasing challenges in maintaining aging infrastructure, the limitations of repairing systems.
Sorry to interrupt, 30 seconds.
Okay. I think I've said enough. But we need to stop blaming those people of Bliss for destroying a building that the community outside of Bliss has done. There's only 84 residents there because the building needs to be put together so somebody else can live there. And our tenants, those tenants, our community, they deserve it. Stop letting fear of natural disaster prevent us from getting this project up and going.
Thank you for your comment. Megan?
Shahiba? Dava?
Can you say it again?
Shahiba?
Hi, thank you. I thought it was a sign-in sheet, but I feel compelled to speak. My name is Zuhaira Khaldun Yara. I moved here 6 years ago, so I am a resident, a recent resident. But one of the things that attracted me to the city of Hudson was the beautiful community, the diversity of thought, of people, and of community. And this community has embraced us, and I am in full support of the renovation and redevelopment of Bliss Towers so that our community members and friends can live in a beautiful, sustainable building that they deserve. And I am assured, and I've seen the models, they're beautiful. They were on display at Waterfront on Wednesday. They're beautiful, and I'm assured that it will be done responsibly and in a sustainable way. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comment.
Saya?
Alasado, sorry.
I would want to give up a little so you already know me.
You remember you.
My name is Saga Diala. I have lived in Hudson for the past 6 years. And I may not live close to the Bliss Towers, but building, but I have seen it around. I have seen the community surrounding it and the community in Hudson in general. And I also thought about the not good, state the Bliss Towers are currently in. And when I heard that, all I wanted to do is help it be better. So when I heard about the redevelopment project, I really just wanted to help. And that's why I ran the stand of the window lighting on Wednesday, because I believe the residents of Bliss Towers should have a chance to have good housing. That's all I really want to say.
Thank you for your comment.
Supervisor Viva.
My name is Abdus Mia. I live in Columbia Street in the second ward. I was 11 years councilman on the second ward, 9 years and the county supervisor. Over 20 years, I was a defense minister. That work. Question about, look at this. I know the whole history of this. 12,000 people, they count the 5,000. If you have no people, what are you looking for quality land? You have no people. The question was, you looking at quality land, all issue, we can improve it. So I say, I give you, thank you, the planning board. The other second one was when the track go through, I was making a picture of the all state level and city was making a committee. So they moved a lot of track go to the Colorado other. Thank you for planning board because track road is a big issue with the health was a second one. So question was I am fully supported. Our people know it. This is for diverse community. This is not a one colored community. I know that what is the problem. Problem is a lot of gentrification, all kind of problem. But still, we need a support of this project. You have to be. You look at how many people, we cannot afford it. Low income housing needed the Hudson. I was a fight about before was the low income housing, like a 410 state corner, making this not happen. Why was like the 7th Street corner was a low income housing, it is, before was a council, is not happening. Every time we try to build something of the lower people, lower income people, we have a problem. We're looking for this problem, that problem. We can solve the problem, no matter what. We are work together. Let's go work together, solve the problem. I'm 100% supporting this project. I hope it will be for the people of our people, all community, all brother live together. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Pastor Singletary.
Good evening. So I did submit a 2-page kind of lengthy letter to the board and it's going to be available to the public. So I won't go over that letter, but I did want to speak to some of the things that I was listening to in the room and some of the things that I brought with me into the room that I remember hearing conversations in this room as the century turned. I remember hearing people talking about making Hudson the Hampton on the Hudson. So when I hear people concerned about who's going to be moving here, it brings that to my memory. When I hear people talking about their investments in the property here, they came with an idea of what the community would be and they worked to make it that community. And so we have luxury hotels. And we have boutiques that people here can't shop in. Pursuing that dream. The displacement of Black and brown people who built this community. We are dealing with that. And the decision that we need to make is what kind of community do we want to be? People came here because they wanted to make it the Hampton on Hudson. We have to decide what kind of community do we want to be. The issue of people moving here from other places is a great opportunity for those who were displaced to come and rejoin their family members. It's an opportunity for those who, like myself, moved out of Hudson because I couldn't afford to live in Hudson. So as a housing advocate from 20 years ago, continuing that work in the county, knowing that there are people who are living in Philmont and in Chatham because they can't live in Hudson, I said, let's bring them back home. You all have the ability to make decisions that will affect this generation and the generations behind us. This can't be delayed. We don't know if money will be siphoned out of the government. We don't know if money is going to be redirected. We don't know what supply chain pricing and supply chain availability, how prices might skyrocket if we postpone and delay and find all manner of reason and excuses until people stop showing up at the meetings and people stop believing it can happen.
Sorry to interrupt, 30 seconds.
Well, that's what I got to say. Read my letter. And thank you.
Thank you for your comment.
Clara, cousin.
I'm also gonna stay over here, so I don't find other people. Your members of the Hudson Planning Board, I'd like to start by saying the families of Bliss have lived for 40+ years without consideration of remediation. As quoted on the state website, the goal of the brownfield cleanup program is to encourage private sector cleanups of brownfields and to promote their redevelopment as means to revitalize economically blighted communities. The BCP is an alternative to greenfield development and is intended to remove some of the barriers and provide tax incentives for the redevelopment of urban brownfields. I'm writing in strong support of the Hudson Housing Authority redevelopment project. I love hearing I'm a supporter of affordable housing but not this project in the same sentence. What solution do you see on the horizon? There are very few places in the city of Hudson where we can actually build housing at scale that this moment demands. We are in a housing crisis and we have to be honest about what that means. We cannot say we want more housing, more affordable housing and better housing for the people who already live here and then reject one of the few projects that can actually deliver it at scale we need. I have heard some of the comments opposing this project because it's too big for Hudson. I simply do not agree. This project is 1 story shorter than Providence Hall and 2 stories taller than Columbia Apartments as they currently exist. When we talk about scale, I think we have to ask ourselves too big compared to what, and more importantly, too big for who. The first phase of this project is necessary to replace substandard housing for current tenants, but I want to emphasize that the second phase is just as important. Following the first phase, the second phase allows for the demolition and continued redevelopment of the property. We cannot only think about what is immediately in front of us, we have to think about what this project makes possible for the future of public housing in Hudson. I also cannot separate this project from my own experience growing up in this city. Some of my favorite memories happened in those public housing apartments. I remember holidays captured on camcorder videos full of love, laughter, food, kids running around, and people being together, people that I no longer have in my life. I remember community. It was on this property that the Hudson Housing Authority that I learned what community actually meant. And that has shaped how I understand community to work to this day. For me, it's not just about policy. It's not just about sitting in a room and making decisions or holding elected office. The crux of community work is people being able to live full lives. It is about people having the opportunity to make memories, raise families, build relationships, celebrate holidays, laugh at their neighbors, and leave an impact simply because they were here. If we have the power to provide the infrastructure that allows to live the lives they
Sorry to interrupt, 30 seconds.
then we should absolutely do that. I want to address the concerns that have been raised about the soil study and the environmental conditions on the property. I understand the importance of making sure that redevelopment is safe and that the environmental concerns are properly addressed. That should never be dismissed. But at this point, I believe using the soil study as an argument against this project is an excuse to avoid moving forward with a problem that we already know needs to be remediated. This project was awarded the Brownsfield grant specifically to help address and remediate the environmental issues identified on the site, and we're not pretending those issues do not exist.
Over time.
Thank you for your comment.
Carla, sat on.
I sound all 50 word. I'm all in favor of low income housing. I'm all in favor of rebuilding this town. But I'm not in favor of answers not being gotten out. People have talked about the soil remediation. I've worked on multi-million dollar, $1 million construction projects. And I know that anything can get built anywhere. How much is it gonna cost? That's just one known issue that is affecting Bliss Towers. And anytime there's been, we've asked, or people have asked about it, there's been pushback or dismissal. That's just one unanswered question in a series of them. I'm all for that these buildings get built well, that it affects the legacy, not just the 5 years. If it's done well, if it's done transparently, if answers are being gotten, then it may affect and support everybody who may in fact be not supportive because of their concerns. But there are very specific known issues on this project that haven't been, from my experience, sufficiently addressed, or if they are addressed and strategized, they're not being publicly presented. If they're publicly presented, then maybe certainly my concerns about some of them would be lessened. But there are real
known issues on any project anywhere, whether it's a personal project or a building that's getting built. There are known issues and unknown, and there's a contingency. Soil remediation, just that, will far surpass any contingency that what I've seen on this project. Is the vendor who's gonna do that soil remediation, are they aware of this particular project? Is there sufficient knowledge? That's what I'm asking for, knowledge to then build right. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment.
Thank you, Robert.
Joan Hunt.
Good evening, my name is Joan Hunt. I've worked in this community with youth and families for over 20 years. I lead a local organization, the Greater Hudson Promise Neighborhood. And we see firsthand how displacement has impacted the families that we've worked with over the years. We also receive dozens of inquiries a month from people who live here who are about to lose their housing, that want to stay here, that are looking for places that are affordable in this community. We see our families that are in the Taconic Hill School District, in the Chatham School District, in Ichabod, up in Shore, places in Albany, and all they want to do is come home. And so the fact that there are so many new faces here that are speaking out against this project, I don't know how many of you have met the families of Bliss, spent time in that building. I get that there are concerns, but there needs to be a sense of urgency here. There are people that are fighting to stay here. There are people that are fighting to come back. There are people living in motels that could be housed in a safe building right here in our community, close to resources, close to community, close to a school district where they know other students, they know their teachers. And so everything to me that is opposing this project feels very much like a stall tactic. Like, let's look at other options. Let's worry about this study. When there just needs to be urgency to get this done and get this moving forward. And I guarantee that whatever we do in this redevelopment, it is better than what is currently at this towers today. So please move this forward. I'm in full support of this project. Thank you.
Jamal Jackson.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I want to say that first, I'm an advocate for affordable housing. And being an advocate for affordable housing and being for affordable housing means that we should build affordable housing. It doesn't mean that we should continue to wait and we continue to have excuses. When we talk about, the fabric of the community isn't just the buildings and the infrastructure. The fabric of the community is the people. So when you moved in, the fabric of the community changed. And in order for people to be able to be a part of the community that they helped build, we have to build affordable housing. We can't blame the former, administrations of HHA for what's happening now. This is our time to actually make a change. The building has so much water damage, and right now it's, it's cosmetic. But in a few months, in a year, it's gonna be mold. It's gonna hurt the air quality. Everyone in here, and every letter that I've read has admitted that the building is hazardous. And we're gonna tell people you should continue to live there because we don't like the plan. We don't like the way it looks. That's not right. When everybody moved here, it was okay, but we have to look at the bigger picture. We have a hospital that has over 100 open positions. We have all of these places on Warren Street that you love going, all the restaurants. Guess what? They can't find workers. This is affordable housing that we have to build now. We can't keep kicking this down the road. We're one emergency away from this being a planned relocation to it being an emergency relocation. So I just implore the board to make the right decision, to think about the tenants who actually live in the building, and do what's right. And if you're for affordable housing, build affordable housing.
Thank you for your comment.
all.
Are there any citizens here that would like to speak that have not spoken? And you can sign up with Linda.
Can I finish my comment?
Say again, please.
Can I have additional time to finish my public comment if nobody else wants?
Let's see if anybody else first.
Randall Martin.
Speak now.
Okay.
As a former member of this board, we've seen this project come up and through the stages, and I think it's a well-reasoned, proportionate, well-designed project, designed to meet the needs, and not just the present needs, but some of the expanding needs of the community. This is a valuable place for affordable housing. There's absolutely no reason why, in my belief and in my opinion, having thoroughly studied it for many, many months, this project should not be approved. And I think that it's appropriate, it's necessary, and it's the kind of project that keeps and sustains the neighborhoods that Hudson has historically has. So that's my comment.
Thank you for your comment. And who you gonna ask next? Claire? We'll recognize you. We're wrapping up your comments. 3 more minutes.
This project is awarded a brownfield grant specifically to help address and remediate the environmental issues identified on the site. We're not pretending those issues do not exist. We are identifying them and putting resources towards addressing them. That distinction matters. If we know there are environmental problems on this property, the answer cannot be to leave the existing conditions in place indefinitely. The answer should be to use the resources available to remediate the site and build safer, healthier housing for the people who live there. I'm asking the planning board to listen closely to the people who are most immediately impacted by this project. This is deeper than aesthetics. It is deeper than whether a building feels too large from a particular vantage point. Those things matter, but they cannot be the only things we consider when we're talking about the future of public housing and the people who depend on it. I also want to say something about the tenants whose voices you may not hear. Many residents may not stand up at a meeting and passionately advocate for this redevelopment. That does not mean they don't support it. Many have been through redevelopment conversations before, they have heard promises before, and they have waited before. Some have understandably lost faith that anything will actually change. I believe that the team leading this project has earned the opportunity to rebuild that trust. The executive director, the board of commissioners, and the development team have been transparent, accommodating, and steadfast in their vision for the tenants. They have continued to show up and work towards something better. At this point, I believe it is our responsibility as a city to show up for them too. As public servants, you have an opportunity to tell the tenants of the Hudson Housing Authority that they are valued, that their homes matter, that their future matters, that the memories and community that have existed there for generations are worth investing in, not preserving in place at the expense of better housing. I love the city of Hudson, and I believe one of the strongest and tallest fosterers of culture in the city is the Hudson Housing Authority. Its value cannot be measured only by the buildings that exist there today. It is measured by the people who have lived there, the families who have grown there, the friendships that have been formed there, and the community that has been built there. We have an opportunity to build on that legacy rather than allow it to disappear. We have an opportunity to take a property with known challenges, bring the resources necessary to address those challenges, replace substandard housing, preserve and strengthen public housing, and create more homes for people in a city that desperately needs them. That's not too much for Hudson. That's exactly what this moment calls for. I urge the planning board to support the Hudson Housing Authority redevelopment project and to recognize it for what it is. An investment in housing, in people, in community, and in the future of Hudson. Thank you.
Thank you all for your comments tonight. Mrs. Van Richards.
Wait, hold on, Ron.
Do we have? All right. Huh? All right, let's get you up.
I'm fine. My name is Edward Cross. I've lived here for 78 years. I probably saw the first bricks laid at the high rise. Okay, and now it looks like I go in there every day. It looks like a sick friend. And I look in there and it scares me. It scares me how we've let things go like this. And we need to step up. It's not just a brick and mortar. I think you said something about brick and mortars. It's not just brick and mortars, it's people. And we need to do something right now. I need to see some of your faces down there, right now. I want you to think back. When was the last time you actually were down there?
I was there.
No, you don't have to answer me. Everybody.
Sorry.
It's me, we need to be about the business of getting this thing right. We need to stop moving our feet. We need to take some walks. Okay, we need to get together and talk about where we're going. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you for your comment.
Jack, is it okay, Linda? Yes, Lori, good morning. I'm Lori, I'm Lori Coleman. Thank you. I'm speaking up because of things that I'm hearing. I spoke before in public. But I hear a roller coaster, literally a roller coaster. And you know how the roller coaster runs. It goes round and round and round and round and round. Okay? I understand how you said talk about the ground. But I was at a couple of meetings and they was talking about the environment. They was talking about the soil. They was talking about how they was gonna protect it. I'm sorry, Ms. Stephanie. I was here when they was in the meetings when they showed the designs of the project itself, the landscaping and what's gonna take place. I'm sorry you missed that meeting. Okay, however, I'm tired of the roller coaster. It's been going on for years. This project has been in your face, maybe not you, because you may not have been the ones that was on board at the time. But it's time for it to stop. It's time for that roller coaster to say, stop right here. Let's do what's needs to be done. To answer the question that you all asked, they have actually been answered. And I'm sorry you missed that meeting. I was there. And even though I wasn't those who were not there, they'll be more than happy. They'll be more than happy to show you all the information that you're inquiring about. Okay? But the roller coaster needs to stop. This needs to happen. Because to be honest with you, everything that I went into that building has nothing to do with tenants damaging it. Not at all. To be honest with you, every tenant today and in the past can sue the city of Hudson because of the condition of that building. And like I said, you can see it has nothing to do with tenants destroying it. It's demolished. It's dying. It is truly dying. So take it off the roller coaster. Stop it. Let's get this started and move forward. Thank you.
Thank you. One last opportunity for speakers. Could you introduce yourself, please?
Of course. My name is Tiffany Galiga, and I'm from New York City originally, and I'm a former resident of this town. I'm a little emotional because of the negativity and comments that I've been hearing. When I moved to Hudson, Hudson is a community of people. Now it's a community of tourists, which is trying to exclude the people of this community. And we're talking about Bliss Towers, and this is generations of people's homes. Now I'm hearing people trying to blame residents for the conditions of the building. The people in that building were dealing with the conditions of that building, and they were still finding happiness in life, still celebrating their children's birthdays, still celebrating their grandparents, their anniversaries, while enduring those conditions. You all are in charge to give people a better opportunity. Make it happen. I don't even understand why we even having this discussion. Why we have people here begging to pass this. You know, people that I'm hearing using scare tactics, talking about asbestos in grounds. This entire city is filled with asbestos. Do you know the actual history in this city? Seriously. We have buildings in New York City, project buildings that are in worse conditions. This is one building. You all have the opportunity to continue to give people that feeling the inside of protection. No one should be treated any sort of way because they're living in low income housing. No one should be having their nose up in the air because people are living in low income housing. God forbid you're in that position where you have to live low income housing. You would want someone to represent for you as well. I'm gonna ask you, Mr. Little, Reverend Cross asked you, have you been to Bliss Towers? But have you had this type of meeting in Bliss Towers to not just hear from people from the community, but from the actual residents? Yes or no?
Sorry to interrupt, please.
Yes or no? Then do that. You have a few residents here that are representing the building. You have people that aren't able to come out of their apartments. But they are able to come downstairs in that community room. Do you know what that means? Community room, where elected officials can come and speak to the residents. Where people with non-for-profit organizations can come, give benefits to those people.
Sorry, a little bit
People in
time.
Bliss Towers have the opportunity to give jobs, right? You heard this young lady speak about being an administrative assistant. Other young men have the opportunity to work as maintenance. Don't take these opportunities for, I don't care about time.
Well, we do. We have to respect that everyone was on limited time.
We're on the people's time. When I, before I spoke, you said it was the last comment.
Okay, thank you for your comment. And thank you all for being a part of this discussion tonight. It's a valuable part of the process. And I want to assure you that we are engaged in a process that is progressing through the steps that we're required to undertake by state law. And we're doing so with intentionality and with purpose. And from the time that 4 new board members joined the board till now, which has been 6 months, I think we've made really substantial progress in moving through the necessary steps. We've stayed in close contact, I have, with Jeff and Ravonda, and keeping communications open so that we are, well, communicating, so that we're communicating with each other, so we understand how we move forward through this process. So when I first joined the board, I didn't quite know how this worked, and it's confusing, and it sometimes feels very calcified and bureaucratic. But we are required by the state to do certain kinds of activities. So that's what we're doing. So have confidence. You were a part of this tonight. Your comments and your voice was an important contribution to helping us become informed properly so that we can deliver a sound decision in support of the community, in support of the residents, and for the future of our city together. So thank you. I think we'll take a 10-minute break. And then we'll come back and return to the agenda. Thank you all.